I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head constantly, thoughts jumbled around, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative. I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go off, I won't let them win, I'll take a stab. I wanna chase a bag, I wanna weigh, I can change all the things I lack. I gotta face the facts, I got a taste in that. Got me obsessed with the rest, I got an itch to scratch. I'll give up everything.
In my brain, running from the past, wanna escape my pain. I just wanna be a better person, I deserve this, I just wanna break these chains. Always destined for greatness, true to myself, I never fake it. Seen too many once that I so they get famous. And when I say the truth, most really can't take it. In spite of everything I've been through, I'ma make it. Fake friends, but on my downfall is toxic. Day one, started to outlaws for profit. Now all I do is write verses, no talking. All I do is put the work in, no option. This was everything I ever wanted. Created a legacy off of me, just being honest. And the fake ones hate, but it's all to no avail. They wanna see me lose, but you know I never fail.
What's up? What's up, loves? Can you hear me? Right, Savannah? Like, come over here, big dog, say something, you know? Ain't nothing special, but I got a mouth. Jaded, hey, sis. Savannah, I love my Savannah. I sound good. I usually sound good, and like now I'm tired of saying it because it's kind of like the first thing I say. Can y'all hear me? So I just start talking and it says it sound good or something, you know. Yeah, Savannah, the clip is so short. You know what I mean? It's got to be so long for them to like really do it. But if they do strike it, all it does is Upchurch will get the revenue off of it. It don't hurt my channel. And if he can get revenue off of it, here, I'll play it again. That's mine and Savannah's man. I love him. I hate that him and I don't really know what happened with him and Adam Calhoun, but this song, fuck it, I should play the whole song. I love it. It's a badass song. But this is my part. That's just the best. I love that clip. I got a bunch of little clips of different people, not just Ryan, but I'm gonna start using this stuff. Yeah, I'm different. Savannah, you know I love you, and I'm glad you love me too. For real, I love you. You know that. You know I'm always here. Well, you know what I mean, Savannah. Yeah, I don't want him like that either. Me and you've talked about that actually. You know, it's not that we're trying to get with him or anything. You know, people think when you support him, you're like, whatever. No, it's like if you have seen this boy grow from young, which I've not like been a diehard up church fan in the past, but now I am. You know, the past few years I have been. But yeah. And now what the shit they're doing to him, yep. Savannah, you can be mine and his mama. He's my bro, so you can be our mama. Hey, Nikki love. Yeah. That church got a fucking army from hell behind him, and I love it. And I love his aunt. Thank God for her. He's not alone. And I was worried about him, you know, being alone a lot. But now we know he does have family, blood that don't take advantage of him, blood that loves him for who he is, blood that supports him no matter what. He is, Jada. And people don't realize that that's not an Upchurch fan, or a lot of people in other countries don't understand it like we do, you know, and especially us Southerners, we really understand it, you know, and it's just different. And people, he's a good kid. He's what, 30 years old? He's a good kid. As a kid to me, I ain't very much older, but fuck, I ain't my 30s. Have y'all seen this about the Cash App murder dude? Like, I was, whenever it first happened, I, you know, watched a clip or so on it, but man, that shit's crazy. I just want to go over it a little bit. I like covering shit that nobody else does that gets my interest. Little things like this. This ain't little, you know, somebody lost his life. That's fucking horrible. And he invented a great thing, Cash App. I love Cash App. All I use. I don't like PayPal or none of that because people get you fucking information, which I don't give a fuck. Most of you know my name anyway. But yeah, it's kind of sad. Very true, Savannah. Look, I ain't gonna, I had a great childhood. I did. I had a really great childhood growing up, and I grew up in a big family, and that's who I am today as well. You know, it was different in big families, and you have morals, and it's like family. I don't know. It just means a really lot to me, and my whole family. You know, we're kind of the same. Well, you know, everybody's different, but I come from a good family, and they're like me, and it's hard to find people that are like you being on such a social media platform like this and stuff, you know, and you come across so many different people and personalities and religions. And at the South, that's a whole different game. South is where it's at, baby. Savannah, you got me now, love. You know I love you. I do. And when I say that, I know I just say love to a lot of people, but people, I'm closer to some people, you know, off here. Like I love Jaded. I love the fuck out of her. You, Savannah. People that's been around a while, it's had my back, you know, and been good to me. I don't forget that. You fuck faces want to be two-faced and shit. No, fuck all that. Oh yeah, don't forget to check out my self-defense giveaway. I'm still doing it. There's a date on it. I can't remember what the date was. I think it's the 20th. I'm going to start doing a giveaway, something for safety every month. I actually ordered something to do for May, and I got it in yesterday. And I will show y'all here. Let me see if I can get it pulled up. I'm going to do something, though, because I'm going to help protect somebody. If I can protect one woman or anybody, even a man, but it's more women, you know. Let me see if I can get this pulled up here. Take me a picture real quick. Well, uno momento. This is what I'm getting ready to show you. I actually have one myself, and oh, it's a little different, but same brand and same concept. Mine's just got like night vision or something. I don't know. This one should have night vision. Look, I'm telling on myself here. Hold on. I hate Apple sometimes. I swear I do. I need to go through and clean some of this shit out I got saved now that I know how to transfer. And it's really not. There we go. Oh my God, are you freaking kidding me? Why is it? Why is it doing that? It is a fucking picture. 1 second. Okay, let me go over here to chat while I figure this out. See, very far. What is it? Far and few between. That's you, Jada. There's not very many, but no, there's good people over here, like California. I love California. It's a whole different world out there. I love the people out there. They love me. I used to work out there. I've been out there twice to work, and honestly, besides New York and stuff, it's like my favorite place to go. I just love it. The people are so fucking nice. It's just, I love California people. And Canadians, I have grown such a love for Canadians, with like Sharon Mark and I can say pretty much most, not all, Canadians are amazing people. They're very friendly and yeah. Oh, Savannah, you'll have to message it to me. So much gross going on in this world. No, my God, Savannah. Oh, they're hateful. Well, fuck them. They're half sisters. The bad half of them's out there. The good half stays wherever over here. Fuck them. I have a little brother. It's the only sibling I have, and I'm close to him, but we grew up real close. We're only like 4 years apart. And I hate that some people didn't grow up with family, because I think about that all the time, that I am very thankful. And I didn't even pay attention, Savannah. My fucking squirrel brain. I'll look at it, I promise. Did I read it? Hi, Progressive Patriot. How are you? Oh, you just sent it to me? Okay. Look, I think I squirreled off and forgot I was trying to show y'all a picture of my May giveaway I'm going to do. What's this fucking shit? Don't do shit for shit. Shitty do shit. Check all this down. See, I got this app. I can figure out how to do all this stuff now, though. Fucking talk. I don't understand this shit. Okay, now let me see if this one does it. I'm trying to stay on track, and I'm a squirrel from hell. I got ADHD. Oh, thank you, Progressive Patriot. Aren't you? I know you put who I think you are. Eli, is that you? Hey, Zena, love, how are you? I'm gonna keep up the good fight, Zena. I don't do much, but I'm gonna stay true to myself and fight for what I want to fight about in my heart on here for people. I don't want to run pick grounds like that. When you stand alone and stand up for what you believe in and what your morals and stuff, you usually don't have too many people around you. when you set boundaries and stuff. And that's not a bad thing. Trust me, it's not a bad thing at all. Okay, I'm going to start some stuff on this. Bob Lee, the Cash App owner, inventor, all that, he got murdered. Hey, Sonia, love.
Mystery continues to surround the murder of tech mogul Bob Lee, the Cash App founder, husband, and father of two, stabbed to death this week not far from Google's headquarters. His murder highlighting a serious problem across San Francisco, with some tech executives now taking to social media in response to sound off about violent crime there. Correspondent Alex Capriello is live for us in San Francisco. And Alex, some people feel like the streets there just are not safe anymore.
Yeah, that's right, Nicole. In fact, San Francisco has been in the spotlight for the past several years due to waves of both violent and property crime. But what makes the death of 43-year-old father of two Bob Lee so tragic is that it happened in this neighborhood, which many consider to be wealthy, safe, and clean. Even still, many people are using this high-profile case to demand more public safety for the entire city.
San Francisco police remain silent in the violent stabbing of tech mogul Bob Lee, murdered early Tuesday morning. News Nation has learned the 43-year-old had recently relocated to Miami, in part due to rising crime in the city. We still don't know if this is a targeted or random attack, but neighbors have their own suspicions.
A lot of the crime, it's not people from San Francisco. It's usually people from outside the city coming in, perpetrating the crime.
Richard Hom has lived in the Rincon Hill neighborhood for 18 years. He says most condos and apartment buildings have doormen and private security, and Google HQ is only a block away. In fact, I counted at least half a dozen cameras outside the crime scene, all pointing towards city streets. Authorities say there is surveillance video of Lee's final dying moments crying out for help, but that footage has not been made public yet. But Hom says the nearby Bay Bridge attracts random attacks and provides a quick getaway route.
If you're walking on the street, they're going to stop their car and they're going to rob you on their way out.
Moments before Bob Lee collapsed on the sidewalk, he made one last-ditch effort to call for help. One woman who lives inside this condo told me she woke up early Tuesday morning to find bloody fingerprints on this call box, presumably from Lee, trying to find anybody who could assist him.
The latest crime trends released Wednesday show Lee's murder is the 13th so far this year in San Francisco. That's up 30% from this time last year. Robbery and assaults are also up 14% and 2% respectively. But when examining the city as a whole, FBI statistics reveal San Francisco ranks 14th in the nation when it comes to violent crime. That's well behind major metros like Chicago, Indianapolis, and Houston. This latest attack has many wondering if this is another sign of yet another increase in crime in their beloved city.
And I'll step away just for a moment. As you can see, people are still stopping by, paying their respects here at the memorial for Bob Lee. Those who have actually seen this surveillance footage say that Lee was last seen walking up Main Street, clutching his chest and trying to flag passing cars, but nobody stopped. In fact, one report indicates that a driver actually saw the extent of his wounds, but actually drove away out of fear. And at this point, it's still unclear what Lee was doing out so early in the morning at all. Nicole?
Yeah, it's such a tragic situation there. All right. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you for watching.
Okay, I got a few more. Hi, One-Eyed Flo. How are you? It's good to see you, love. I'm going to play just a few more here. Let me get of these so we can get, because there was a presser today, and we're gonna watch that too. Okay, I'm just gonna see. Let's go back to this.
Go Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
He was a very sweet, thoughtful person, but also just one of the brightest people you could imagine.
The tech community is mourning the loss of executive and entrepreneur Bob Lee tonight after the young father was found stabbed to death in San Francisco early yesterday. Police are now working to track down the person responsible for killing the 43-year-old. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Grant Lotus.
And I'm Vicki Liviakis. Bob Lee, founder of Cash App, was stabbed to death Tuesday morning on Main Street in San Francisco. KRON 4's Rob Nesbitt spoke with some of Lee's friends. He joins us now in the studio with how he's being remembered tonight.
I talked with several of Bob Lee's friends and co-workers, and they can't understand why this would happen, trying to grapple with the fact that someone stabbed their friend to death.
He was incredibly personable, wonderfully friendly, and just like a force of nature.
When you talk to the inner friend circle of Bob Lee, you'll hear nothing but positives. Doug Dalton met the 43-year-old while they were both working in tech.
Once you made a friendship with Bob, you were friends with him pretty much forever. He was a very sweet, thoughtful person.
This is the last photo Doug has with his friend, taken at a birthday dinner over the weekend. Lee was found by San Francisco police Tuesday around 2:30 a.m., stabbed to death on Main Street in Soma, in the same district that Supervisor Matt Dorsey represents.
This is not a city where anybody should fear for their lives at 2:30 in the morning. This is a city that has a vibrant nightlife, and we should be safe 24 hours a day. Lee had a successful career in tech as the founder of Cash App, former chief technology officer of Square, and chief product officer at MobileCoin. His death caused a firestorm of posts on social media about violent crimes in San Francisco. District Attorney Brooke Jenkins posted on Twitter Wednesday saying, quote, "Protecting public safety and holding violent repeat offenders accountable is a top priority for my administration." The DA extended her condolences to Lee's friends and family who are trying to figure out the tough question of why.
I can't imagine anyone targeting Bob. He was not a person who garnered any sort of animosity towards people. If anything, he garnered respect and love, and people really enjoyed hanging out with him.
Supervisor Dorsey said today that investigators believe surveillance video might have captured the stabbing on the 400 block of Main Street. Anyone with video or information about the stabbing can contact the San Francisco Police Department. Reporting live in...
Wasn't there another killing of like Bitcoin? I don't know if it was Bitcoin or something, one of them kind of things. All right, let's go on through this. There's a few more. I want to get to the press conference.
In studio, I'm Rob.
Just devastating to think about what happened. It's also really freakish, and a lot of people are seizing on it politically to say San Francisco's a mess, there's so much crime, and this murder is a really good example. You know, I'm not going to politicize this tonight. I just want to get to the bottom of it. And Caitlin Becker has been working this story. She's a senior reporter for thedailymail.com. Caitlin, first of all, I'm going to draw people to the Daily Mail because you've got some amazing surveillance video on your website about what happened out in front of that apartment building. So to walk me through just how incredible this fight for life was that Bob Lee put up.
Well, actually, what you'll see in this video that we exclusively obtained of Bob Lee in the immediate aftermath of being stabbed shows you pretty much survival instincts, what they look like on a person who is really fighting for their life. The video is graphic. It is difficult to watch. We have done our best, to blur out some of the blood. And we actually obtained two different videos taken from separate vantage points where you see him try to flag a car down in the street. His hands are, covered in blood. His midsection is bleeding. He's clearly very, very injured. I mean, he's gray and pale. And the car pauses for a few and then drives off. And then you see him walk across the street, get to the outside of the Portsmouth apartment building, which is a luxury high-rise. Apartments are for sale, 2 bedrooms, something like over $1.175 million for one of these buildings. For one of these apartments. It's a very high-end building. He gets to the front and you can see him from the vantage point of inside the lobby of the building. building. There isn't anyone in there. The reception desk is empty. There isn't, a doorman, even though the building purportedly has 24-hour security. I'm not sure where that security was in the moment. You see him reach out for the call box, presumably to maybe get someone's attention, and then collapse. He's on the ground using his phone, calling 911 because we know that 911 call came in from him around that time. And then you see another car drive by and you see a man who had collapsed because he could not stand on his own 2 feet, muster the energy to fly up with his hand and chase after this car for help. And the car didn't stop.
Just so upsetting.
It's
I do want to bring up something that I think is important because everybody's obviously asking, did he know the person? Is it random? The police chief, Bill Scott, will not say whether it is a random attack or not. However, there is a quote, and I think, and help me if I got this wrong, help someone stab me, that he repeatedly screamed, help someone stab me, which is typically not someone you know. If you're yelling, someone stabbed me, you don't know who it is. If you know who it is, you're like, Bob Jones stabbed me. So it is thought just based on that reporting that this is random.
Yeah, that quote seems to be pretty accurate. We don't know what his 911 call sounded like going into 911. However, we have heard what the 911 dispatchers were dispatching around to law enforcement. And the dispatcher said, we have a guy on the phone who is repeatedly screaming, help, someone stabbed me. Didn't say, a name, didn't give any sort of indication about someone stabbed me, multiple people stabbed me, a tall person stabbed me. It was very vague. It was just a someone. It sounds random to me, but like you said, we don't have any details from police to really indicate one way or the other who this perpetrator was.
Yeah, I'm just going to direct our viewers right now to click on your website, dailymail.com, and take a look at your exclusive video. It's a good get. It's really informative about what Bob Lee went through. Caitlin, great job in obtaining it. Again, it's exclusive to Daily Mail. Thanks for being on. Really appreciate it, Caitlin. Let's do this again as we get more information.
Of course.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased.
This surveillance video obtained by DailyMail.com is exactly what investigators are looking for. CCTV capturing tech titan Bob Lee moments after he was stabbed early Tuesday in San Francisco. At 2:35 in the morning, the injured 43-year-old appeared to be trying to wave down a passing car, which drove away. This surveillance video obtained by DailyMail.com is exactly what investigators are looking for. CCTV capturing tech titan Bob Lee moments after he was stabbed early Tuesday in San Francisco. At 2:35 in the morning, the injured 43-year-old appeared to be trying to wave down a passing car, which drove away, before Lee comes clearly into view outside the doors of a condominium complex.
365 Main, crossing of Folsom and Harrison. For the stabbing.
Lee, according to the San Francisco Standard, dialed 911 and screamed, help, someone stabbed me.
That cell phone is a critical piece of evidence in a case like this.
San Francisco's DA, Brooke Jenkins, says detectives are looking at every angle.
When we are dealing with a case where the suspect is unknown, you are trying to interview anyone and everyone who may have had contact with the victim leading up to the time of the crime.
Lee, perhaps best known for creating the mobile payment service Cash App, was a tech icon who lived in San Francisco for years before recently moving to Miami. Police scouring the neighborhood Lee knew well for any potential clues.
We are not commenting on evidence, nor will we speculate on the circumstances surrounding this horrific crime.
As San Francisco comes under scrutiny for a recent rash of crime, including a homicide rate that's risen in past years, Lee leaves behind 2 children, including a heartbroken daughter who writes, I'm devastated that somebody would be so cruel to take away my father's life, a life cut short in a murder that remains a mystery.
Breaking news right now. It seems there might have been an arrest in the murder of the tech executive Bob Lee. We have Jeff Paul. He is there in Los Angeles. This crime happened in San Francisco last week. Jeff, what do you know?
Yeah, Dana, and we reached out to the San Francisco police to confirm this report that first appeared in the Mission Local. But apparently the killer, according to this report, works in tech and is a man familiar with Bob Lee. Apparently, they were in a car together, and that's when the stabbing happened, according to the Mission Local. Now, the report indicates that the man was arrested in the Bay Area. Now, just to remind you, Lee was killed last week. Investigators say they were called out to San Francisco's Embarcadero waterfront around 2:30 a.m. last Tuesday. That's when they found Lee, who had been stabbed. Medics tried to save him, but Lee later died at the hospital. Bob Lee's father, Rick Lee, had wrote on Facebook that he basically had lost his best friend. Dana?
You know, it's interesting, Jeff, yesterday, that Mayor London Breed, when she was doing an interview, she said that when more information came out about this case, that people would be surprised. That might have been what she was talking about.
I think so. And I think for a lot of people who have been following what's going on in San Francisco, I think the first indication was maybe it was random, just given the amount of crime that happens there. But now it seems like, according to the Mission Local, and again, we're trying to confirm these reports, that it was someone he was familiar with, somebody he was, according to this report, in a car with at the time of this stabbing, Dana.
Jeff Paul, thank you for that breaking news.
Wow.
We'll keep on top of it. This
All right.
just broke literally during, while Harris was doing her tease for her show, so she'll have more as well.
It was reported 2:30 in the morning.
Yes.
And apparently he's on the surveillance camera or video near the Bay Bridge, I do believe. And he's calling 911. He approached a car that had flashing lights on the side of the road. And according to the reports in the video, that he pulls up his shirt to show the stab wounds underneath his skin. And the car drove away. And then that forced him to search for more help. And in the end, it was just too late for that. But it put a fine point on some of the crime that we've been reporting on in cities like San Francisco. The mayor's comment from yesterday might have given us a little tease right now. But you've got that other story the other day, also in San Francisco, where you had the guy, homeless guy, beating a man with a chain and a crowbar.
The guy being beaten was the former fire commissioner of San Francisco, and that was right outside his home.
And this went on for some time. So, look, San Francisco's got problems. The mayor perhaps doesn't think it's as big as it's been characterized in the media and in social media. But there's a certain part of that town, it's called the Tenderloin District, and it's a mess. Yep. It's drugs and it's homelessness, and they do not have a handle on that aspect of it.
And, you know, the other thing is that we all have loved San Francisco for so long, and that's why it's been sad to see what's happened. Listen to her, what she says in terms of how it's not all that we're saying it is. Watch.
It is taken completely out of context in terms of highlighting the entire city as being unsafe. That's not entirely true. There's a perception problem. We know that the internet and social media is here to stay. It's not going anywhere, and people are going to jump to conclusions.
The thing is, though, we do see with our own eyes, because so many cameras are available, and you see that, for example, the random attack against the fire commissioner, that just happens to be from a camera that somebody has available that police get to look at. Or people have their phones.
To your point, though, San Francisco is an American gem, and I think the people who live there deserve better. We'll see whether or not they get it from their leadership there.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, I did get that picture uploaded. I want to show you. This is what I want to do. This and something else for May's giveaway. And then we're going to watch the press conference. I have one that's a little bit different than this, but they're amazing.
Despite efforts by first responders and medical personnel, Mr. Lee died from his injuries. The San Francisco Police Department Homicide Detail responded and took over the investigation. Our homicide investigators developed information that identified the suspect as 38-year-old Nima Momeni of Emeryville, California. We can confirm that Mr. Lee and Mr. Momeni knew each other. However, we will not be able to provide further details at this time regarding the evidence that confirms that information. This morning, members of the San Francisco Police Department's Investigations Bureau and Tactical Unit served several search warrants and an arrest warrant in San Francisco and Emeryville, California. Mr. Momeni was taken into custody without incident in Emeryville, California. He was transported to the San Francisco County Jail and booked on one charge of murder, California Penal Code Section 187A. I'd like to remind everybody that this is still an open and ongoing investigation, and we will not be able to provide further details at this point. Before I turn this over to our district attorney, I want to assure everyone that our investigators have been working tirelessly to make this arrest and bring this case to justice for the Lee family and his loved ones, just as we would for every homicide that occurs in the city. I'd like to thank our homicide investigators, led by Detective Brett Dittmer and Detective Thomas McWilliams, also Lieutenant Kelvin Sanders, and our entire homicide team who have worked not only on this case, but all of our open cases. You know, I said from the start that I have every confidence in the men and women and the members that work homicide. They have an 85% clearance rate year to date, and that is expected to go to 92% because we just solved the 1994 case yesterday as well. We never give up finding justice for the victims in the city. And I want to make sure that everybody knows how hard the men and women and members of this department work to keep this city safe. With that said, just a reminder, we won't be able to provide many details in this case today, but this is an ongoing investigation. We still have work to do, and our job is to provide the best evidence possible to this district attorney and her team so we can bring this case and any other homicide or crime in the city to justice. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to our district attorney, Brooke Jenkins. We'll take questions after.
So as you're aware, I'm Brooke Jenkins, the district attorney here in San Francisco, and I want to thank you first all for being here. I also want to start off by first acknowledging the pain and anguish that Mr. Lee's family and friends are currently experiencing. There is nothing worse than a parent having to bury their child, or a young child having to bury their parent. My prayers go out to them during this very difficult time. I too want to commend the San Francisco Police Department for their work in identifying who committed this heinous crime. They worked around the clock to solve this case. While in some cases we do immediately have a suspect, that was not the situation here. As a result of their hard work, Mr. Lee's killer has been identified, arrested, and now will be brought to justice. As a former prosecutor in our homicide unit, I have personally worked on cases with the detectives that solved this case. They are dedicated to justice and have further demonstrated their commitment to ensuring that San Franciscans do get justice when something like this happens. I am here today to formally announce the charges against Mr. Nima Momeni for the murder of Bob Lee. The specific charges that we are filing today include murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187, as well as a special allegation also known as an enhancement, alleging that this murder was committed with a knife. As for next steps, as I know you all are eager to follow this case, Mr. Momeni is expected to be arraigned in Department 10 of the Hall of Justice tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 p.m. My office will be filing a motion to detain Mr. Momeni without bail to ensure that he remains in custody during the pendency of this case due to the obvious and severe public safety risks that we believe he poses to the public. I want to end by saying thank you to Mr. Lee's family and the people of San Francisco for being patient with law enforcement during the course of this investigation. I know that everyone has wanted answers since this tragedy happened. While nothing can heal the pain of Mr. Lee's loss, thank you for putting your trust in the San Francisco Police Department and now in my office to ensure that we seek justice in this case. I acknowledge and understand how the loss of a young, vibrant leader and innovator has rocked our city and even beyond. Since taking office last July, I've worked tirelessly to ensure that San Franciscans not only feel safer, but actually are safer. Even one murder is too many. Regardless of the facts, violent acts like this are jarring to us all. As you already heard, Mr. Lee was murdered by somebody that he knew. While we're not going to release any additional facts at this time, I must point out that reckless and irresponsible statements like those contained in Mr. Musk's tweet that assumed incorrect circumstances about Mr. Lee's death serve to mislead the world in their perceptions of San Francisco and also negatively impact the pursuit of justice for victims of crime as it spreads misinformation at a time when the police are trying to solve a very difficult case. We all should and must do better about not contributing to the spread of such misinformation without having actual facts to underlie the statements that we make. Victims deserve that, and the residents of San Francisco deserve that. While public safety continues to be a top concern and priority for every resident and business owner in San Francisco, I will continue to work with Mayor London Breed and our police chief, Bill Scott, and other city leaders to ensure that public safety in our city continues to improve. I've dedicated the last 8 years of my career to holding some of our city's most violent offenders accountable. And as your district attorney, I promise that my office will continue the fight to enhance public safety and to hold Mr. Lee's killer, as we do all others, accountable. Thank you.
I'm going to open up just a few questions. Annie, go ahead.
Oh, I have two questions. First of all, I just wanted to make sure that if we use, is this a suspect? Sorry.
See us after, because I have never met Mr. Momini, so I can't confirm that in this press conference, but we appreciate the question.
How do you link the suspect to the case? What lead did you have? Was there any security footage that you saw this guy and then you hone in on him? How did you find him?
Well, we follow the evidence, and there is a lot of evidence. And again, there's still work to be done on this case. So, and there's still evidence that we need to locate. So we are very limited in what we need to say at this point. And I want to reemphasize what has been said by me and the district attorney. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that we get justice for the families and Mr. Lee. And I really appreciate everybody's enthusiasm to get information, but we have to put the case first. So we won't be able to go into details about any evidence today. Well, the evidence shows that they knew each other, and that's about as much as I can say. This case started over a week ago, and we've been working around the clock since then. So the things will come out as this case proceeds, and particularly when it gets to court. But at this point, that's about as much as I can say. I will say this: we've been on this round the clock from the start. And I just want to make sure that the world knows that we have other homicides that we work just as hard on. I understand and appreciate the interest in this case. That's not lost on any of us. But let's not forget that we have lost other lives in this city, and there's work to be done on those cases as well.
Chief, can you say anything about the motive? Was this a targeted killing? Was it an altercation that erupted, a fight, anything about that?
Well, can't say anything about the motive at this point. But we do know that they knew each other. The evidence has told us that.
Hi, morning. My name is Mona. My question is, how would you respond to people who portrayed his death to make San Francisco out to be like a lawless and crime-ridden place? What would you say to them?
Well, what I will say to that is, this is more about human nature and human behavior than it is about our city. You take this out of San Francisco, they knew each other. You put it in another city, and I'm not going to name any other city because I don't want to do that to any other city, but just put it in any other city. I don't believe it would have changed the circumstances one bit. This is not about San Francisco. It happened in San Francisco, and that is unfortunate. It's even more of a tragedy that it happened at all, but this speaks to more about human nature. Facts show and research shows that most people who commit homicides know the people that they kill. The research shows that. So, I do understand, how people see and view things. I see it, I read it, I live here just like, a lot of you all. But this has nothing to do with San Francisco. This has to do with human nature.
I'm going to go right here.
Yeah, I can't talk about that because I don't have that information anyway right now. And in terms of what Mr. Lee had on him, that will come out in, as far as the investigation, that will come out as the investigation proceeds. So thank you.
You said that there were 2 warrants served, one in Emeryville and one here. Is there any expectation of another arrest or anyone else involved in this that we should be aware of?
Well, the case is not closed yet, but at this point, we're focused on the person that we know is the suspect. So the case is not closed. It's an ongoing investigation, but this is right now, Mr. Momini is our focus and a single suspect in this case. Let me just clarify. We served 2 warrants, 2 search warrants in San Francisco, and an arrest warrant and search warrant in Emeryville.
Chief, why was the arrest made now? Was there new evidence in the case? How early on did the department know that Mr. Momini was the suspect?
Well, in any investigation, when we get to the point where we're comfortable that we have enough evidence to make the arrest and we're comfortable, this is where working with our district attorney's office really, really matters. And just as an aside, it's not too common where you have a district attorney who prosecuted homicides and a chief of police who has worked homicide. And we understand the nuances with these investigations. We both do. So we appreciate the work that our teams, our respective teams do. But when we work together and we communicate, we know at which point, because we're taking advice from our prosecutors, when we're ready to proceed with an arrest, when we have enough, when they feel comfortable. And I'll let the DA speak to that. Comfortable enough that we have a case that we can move forward with. And once that's done, we will make the arrest. And that's what happened in this case.
Let me just say this. The police's arrest standard is probable cause. When they hand a case over to my office, the standard is beyond a reasonable doubt. And so we have to remain in communication about when enough evidence has been mounted, not simply for an arrest in a case like this, but so that when the DA's office is handed a case, that we have enough evidence to prosecute to our to charge and to prosecute to our standard, which is higher than the police arrest standard.
Has it been
what I will say is this. We've said multiple times now that we're not going to discuss any other facts about this investigation. This is still an ongoing investigation. We are not at the end of the road. We are truly at the beginning of the road. My office has to, again, have sufficient evidence to be able to prosecute this case to a jury, which to do that, his department still has more work to do. And so at this time, we would ask that you respect that fact. We have a family who's entitled to justice here in this case. And the only way that can be delivered to them is if we protect the integrity of this ongoing investigation.
Chief Scott, Chris Lasker from the Washington Post. You've spoken to people who indicated that the motivation for the attack was a personal entanglement between Mr. Lee and a member of Mr. Mulvaney's family. Is that an area of focus in this investigation? Do you have a comment on that?
Well, I don't have a comment in terms of confirming that or not confirming that. What I will say is ongoing investigation. We know they knew each other. We know that much, and we've confirmed that. And there's still some work to be done. So what I don't want to do is put out information that's going to come back and haunt us or the prosecution of this case. So I understand how hard that is. I know everybody wants answers, but please be patient with us on this, because we definitely, we are where we are in terms of the arrest, the filing of charges. There's still more work to be done, though. Thank you.
Leanne, go ahead. We're going to just take a few more after this.
Yeah, Chief, with regard to what you just said, that you treat every homicide.
Okay, that's about all that. That woman, she stood up and was like, this is how it is, because they kept asking the same question that he knew he couldn't answer. At least they're protecting the case. Goodness gracious. Okay, well, that's about all I wanted to do on that. I want to keep it short to the point. Thank you all for joining, and see you all later. Bye.